I think you're right as far as where we are on the map, and just like from the Enlightenment forward, this idea running out of gas, and now we're at a point of transition.
Secularism, this belief movement to create a world that is purely rational, devoid of anything supernatural, dependent upon science. And even if you take a position like Daniel Dennett that will admit that science is nested inside of morality, they have a hope that secular ethics can provide an objective basis for morality without the appeal to anything transcendent. This is, of course, an Enlightenment project, you might call it. And I'm wondering if we're reaching the end of it. And I say that because, on one hand, you might look at the Western world or America and go, no, they're clearly winning. Look at the universities. They're very secular. Look at media. Look at film. Look at church attendance. The mainline denominations are shrinking. Even the Southern Baptists aren't doing. Just numbers are going down. So on one hand, you're like, of course it's not ending. It's really succeeding. But if you look at sociological research, things like the number of people that identify as atheists, that needle hasn't moved at all. If, in fact, it may have gone down according to some studies. But anyways, either way, it's under 10%. So you think of this Enlightenment project, the secularism of the West, it hasn't resulted in a world of atheists. And in fact, we're seeing an increase. So even though we're seeing people leave the churches, there's no doubt about that. We're seeing an increase in a category that's been called the religious nuns. On the census, you check your box, your religious box or whatever, Protestant or Christian, Muslim, whatever the choices are. Can't even think of what they all are. But one of them is none. And the box marked none has been being checked with more frequency than any other box. It may be the fastest growing demographic in this country, religiously speaking. And as it relates to the millennials, upwards of 40% of them identify as religious, or the nuns, spiritual but not religious. And it's interesting when you dive into the research on this group, it's true that they're abandoning traditional religion, but they haven't abandoned spirituality. The vast majority of them believe in some kind of higher power. A meaningful percentage of them still believe in like the Judeo-Christian God, but a number of them are really open to spiritual ideas. And what it seems to me is, long introduction here. What it seems to me is that this Enlightenment project did not succeed in creating a secular West, but it tilled the soil for new religious experiences to grow. And it seems to me that's what is happening here at our time in the West. What do you think about that? Have you experienced any of that? Or point me in the right direction if I'm going the wrong way here.
No, I think you're spot on. And I don't think, like, I would go a little further even and say, like, it's not, is it a question mark of has it run out of gas? I think it's a yes. Like secularism as a project, that Enlightenment project, I think its day has passed. That ship has sailed. And I think there's lots of ways to talk about that, but I'm with you. So I think you're right on. Experienced it, yes. I grew up in the Pacific Northwest, so like we come from a very open, transcendent, spiritual but not religious landscape out in the Pacific Northwest. So that was kind of in the air all. I would say from like early 20s up. That was my experience out there. So lots of experience, yes. I think you're right as far as where we are on the map, and just like from the Enlightenment forward, this idea running out of gas, and now we're at a point of transition. And I mean, the Pope said this: we're not. It's not just an age of change; it's the very changing of an age. And I think that was right on. That there is something much bigger shifting. And to get to your final point there, I think that the project, especially the American West of Western civilization in America, the expressive individualism, what the ground tilled up was this idea that we can do our own thing. And there was a little tilling of ground that led to downstream this idea that you have your truth, I have my truth, as long as you stay off my lawn and I stay off your lawn. The idea is that we're all entitled to our own individual take on the thing, and we're no longer bound by anything that's overarching. So I think there was like some competing streams, but I think like in the epoch in time, yes, right? There's an Enlightenment project that is done. We're at the changing of an age. Here in the West, in America, there's a particular flavor to that that has that expressive individual soil in it. So now we've got the confidence. And I think that that's where we're starting to experiment. And you can't shake. This is why Charles Taylor said we're in a God haunted world. So you can say, I don't want the religious institution or structure or dogma or whatever. I don't want that. But I can't shake transcendence. I can't shake spiritual things. I live in a God haunted world and I'm a God haunted person. That I can't shake. So I think now what you have is individuals who are empowered to be like, yeah, I'm open to that. I'm not denying the fact that there's something other, but I'm not going to let you tell me what that is or how to relate in that landscape. But I think you're right for sure.
So why do you think secularism ran out of gas, or is running out of gas, or to take your position, maybe has run out of gas? And what about this God hauntedness? Is that would, like an atheist say, yeah, that I'm with you, it's still haunted. That's because of how long Christianity pervaded the West, and we just still need to clean it up. I mean, what do you think about why it's run out of gas, or what the hope even would be for the atheist to say, yeah, I'm with you on the haunted part, but we just got to get the rational exorcist
Yeah,
and
sure,
turn them loose.
sure. I mean, that would have been Nietzsche's thing of yeah, we're almost there, right? Will to power, finally break loose of it and shed that, but you're going to pay a price for it, all that. Um, I think that first it ran out of gas because it's
Mm,
not sufficient for reality. And so I think truth, if you think about beauty, goodness, truth, and truth is reality, like that, what is real? It's not a dogma, it's like reality.
mm.
Eventually our dogmas and our beliefs, even secular beliefs, if they're insufficient for reality, then reality is iconoclastic. It's going to shatter even our most ardent, educated, like prideful stance against it. At the end of the day, water is water. Like there's a touch and a feel to reality that you go, I can name it or label it or deny it however I want, but at the end of the day, like I feel something, I experience something that is reality. It's rooted in a material world. So I think it's not, it's been proven not sufficient for the
So did you
totality.